Hey, friends, and welcome to the Dance Principles United podcast. Beck and I are just back from our Studio Growth Club retreat in Noosa. How are you, Beck?
I'm super awesome. We had the most incredible weekend. It was so fun. Wasn't it just a vibe? Like it was just the best time ever, right?
Woofed. It was huge. I'm still feeling it. Hence why this podcast is a little bit late because we were, it's like after concert feels, right? That we have all
Yeah.
that going on. And it's like, oh, need to take a deep breath afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. But we thought we would share some of the best parts of that weekend with you guys, some of the takeaways and all the things, because we had a super awesome weekend. Although there was a slight little debacle on the way to Noosa, wasn't there, Amanda?
A little bit of a debacle. So we thought we'd start a TikTok account because we didn't have a TikTok account. P.S. Please go follow us on TikTok for Dance Principles United. We've got like 30 followers. So if we could really up that a little bit, be nice to have a few more friends on there. So of course, we're like at the airport and we thought we'd do, a very like normal kind of TikTok dance. Nothing really. There was no pirouettes. There was no leg mounts.
So simple. Literally a
And
step, clap, and a hip. And
and what happened, Beck?
Amanda said it to me beforehand. I had a little practice and we got there and Beck, they think, tore a tendon in her knee doing a step clap. And then had to get crutches when we got to Noosa.
Had 2 days of physio before you had to jump on stage, crutches for the whole weekend. You had to do a whole new outfit, a whole new wardrobe because to cover the bandage on the knee. That was an expensive exercise.
I didn't even wear short things that often, but every one of my dresses was above the knee. And I don't know why I had that packed, but I had 3 above the knee dresses. And then I had to crutch my way down to Aj and say to them, guys, I've got half an hour. Find me 3 outfits, please. They were very good, I have to say. It is such exceptional customer service in that shop, no matter when you go, but they were next level. Amazing.
Just got to drop a couple of grand on some new outfits to cover the knee bandage. So how's the knee now? I haven't actually asked you since we've been back. How is the knee? Did you go to the physio again?
I've been to the physio a couple of times and yeah, it's not ideal, Amanda. That's all I'm going to say.
Is there surgery involved in this knee?
I'm trying to not do the surgery thing. So
Okay.
I'm just leaving it for a couple of weeks, not leaving it, doing my exercises, seeing if it gets better, and then going from there. I'm trying to avoid surgery at all costs.
Of course. I love that you teach, 20 hours a week still or something like that and have for 25 years?
Yep. High level ballet and do my knee on a step clap. It's really good.
The TikTok that kills it. All right, you've got to jump onto our TikTok now. You've got to see the one that we're talking about. Find it, comment on it. Tell us, can you work out the exact moment where all the shit comes loose in Beck's knee?
How embarrassing. Anyway,
let's get off that.
That was an amusing first part. But okay, first of all, can I say, if you guys don't know and have never been to Noosa, because I have to admit this to you, Amanda. So when he said Noosa, I was like, is this really going to be a vibe? Like I felt like it was going to be kind of this nothing there beachy town. And I thought it was actually Noosa. I know. And I thought it was really random that you'd chosen it, but I was like, okay, sure. And then I get there. It is legit one of the best places I've ever been in my whole life.
It's bougie as fuck, right?
Yeah,
so nice. I know, that's why you love it. And it's like such a vibe. Has such nice restaurants, such good shopping, the weather, all of it. It's just so good. And it was like the whole weekend was so incredible. Everyone had such a good time, right? What was your like absolute, besides obviously staying at the Sofitel Noosa, which was lovely, and being with me for the weekend, of course, and having beautiful food. What was your highlight of the weekend?
Of the whole weekend or just Noosa?
Let's go the whole weekend. What was the highlight?
Probably the cocktail party. And I think because we just have such a beautiful community and everyone feels so comfortable with each other. And I just loved the vibe of that. Like, it was just so much fun. Everyone was laughing, having the best time. I loved it.
Yeah, it's so nice to let your hair down a little bit as well, right? That's
Yes.
always fun. Like the sessions were incredible and there was
Oh,
so much learning and connection and all of that. But making friends with people that just get it and get our world and having a little bit of fun because we all deserve a bit of fun as business owners too, right? Like, life's hard sometimes and it's tricky and it's nice to let your hair down and get dressed up and have a bit of fun.
absolutely. What was your highlight?
Ooh, the cocktail party for sure. I
Mm.
think just seeing so many new friendships come together and as well as like people reconnecting, like loving seeing on, studio owners Instagrams and accounts and TikToks and all of the accounts that everybody has. Love seeing them all like with their studio group of besties, people that they know have got their back. And seeing those connections form, there was some of the young studio owners all went out for a drink afterwards. I saw some of the, other studio owners in the mornings having breakfast. Like, we've all got to do our vibe, right? But I love that so much that people can find those connections and find people that just get it.
Oh, you know what another favorite moment was?
Mm,
Spill the tea.
that was fun. I was so nervous.
You were. So we did this session with all of the Studio Growth Club members, which was called Spill a Tea, where everyone got to go around the table and ask other studio owners a question that they've always wanted to ask, which went really well. And then we had this incredible speaker, Anthony Ikin, and he came
Mm,
in while they were all doing Spill the Tea. So he told his amazing journey, which we'll tell you guys a bit more about in a second. But then he was like, all right, it's the end of my session. I'm going to do Spill the Tea. You guys can ask me any questions. So then Amanda, Nathan, I, the next day, were like, we should do Spill the Tea with everyone. So we actually put ourselves up on stage and let everybody in the audience ask any questions they wanted. And I loved it. It was fun. It was so
it
much fun.
was. It was super fun. There were some really great questions, really great questions about like, our finances, how we structure our life, how we structure our mornings, why we do what we do, parenting, mother guilt, like all of those
Mm,
things. Like it's always
mm.
really interesting, right? Because sometimes there's just questions you really want to ask people that you're scared to, right?
Yes. And it was such a beautiful moment. One of our Studio Growth Club members, who's quite new actually to SGC, said, why do you guys give so much
Oh, that
away?
was Brad. That was so
Yeah.
nice.
But it's true. Like,
Yeah.
why he was just like, why do you guys give so much away when our industry is so used to closing everything in? It was
Mm,
interesting, actually. And we do. We're such open books, not just for SJC members, for our tribe members, for all of
absolutely.
you guys on the podcast. Like, I am a complete open book, and I know you are as well, Amanda. And if you guys ever have
Absolutely.
questions that you want to ask us, just reach out and we will definitely ask it on the podcast because we are. I love being an open book for everyone. It's how we learn.
Absolutely. That was so, so great, right? All right.
Mm.
Should we go through some of our sessions and kind
Yeah.
of give a bit of a recap? Like we started off the weekend with Anthony Ikin, who was absolutely incredible. Those
Incredible.
that don't know Anthony Ikin, he had an incredible career in the dance world. He owned a studio. He was a Moulin Rouge dancer. And, he was So You Think You Can Dance. Was it top 10, I think?
Top 10.
Um, Back in the day, and did some incredible things. But he talked about his journey growing up as a child, being part of a very big football family and reaching for his goals. It was super inspiring, wasn't it?
So inspiring. As soon as he finished, I went up to him and said, I need to get you to my studio because I want my boys and girls, but my boys at the studio to hear your story.
Mm,
Because he really, despite all the bullying and everything that happened to him, he really stuck to himself and his own goals. And that's obviously why he was so successful. But
absolutely.
his journey was just incredible, and just his work ethic, I think,
Mm.
and the way that he conducted himself as a professional was insane. His story was incredible. Anyway, we're inviting him to Expo, I think, now because we just feel like everyone needs to hear from him because he was so amazing,
Oh,
right?
He was so, so good. He helped our members set really great goals
Mm.
and focus on their goals, not worry about what everyone else is doing around them, which is, what he felt as a child and had that pressure of like, let's all play football or whatever it was, but really stay in your own lane and focus on your goals. So he really helped our members set some incredible goals. And it was a very powerful, it was quite an emotional session too, right?
Yeah, one of the things that I loved that he
Mm,
said about goals, Amanda, was make sure your goals are not just a to-do list. And he's like,
yes.
I see people set goals a lot of the time, and it's actually not a goal, it's actually a to-do list, and that our goals need to be more big picture, kind of,
Mm,
really big thinking stuff. And then your to-do list goes underneath it. And I really liked that. It's definitely a different way of looking at your goals, and more looking at like how do you want your life to look and then setting the goals underneath to get your life to that point. I thought that was really
oh,
cool.
so clever. He had so many great takeaways. I love so many things that he spoke about. What other sessions did you really enjoy, Beck? What other ones should we kind of give everyone a bit of a rundown of what happened at?
Look, I think it's important to talk about timetabling, especially now. And that was something that we just kind of a little bit dabbled in for our Studio Growth Club members to start thinking about, because
Mm,
obviously we're doing a whole release on that next month. Or no, this month. Jokes, this
this
month.
month, October. Yep.
Um, but I think that thinking about your timetable now and how you're going to put things together for next year can be a real game changer. Are you going to introduce something new, fresh, and exciting into your studio for next year?
Mm,
Is it time to change up your preschool program, or is it time to, I don't know, change up your acro program or whatever it might be?
yes.
Is it time to start thinking about that? And also, I know you always talk about thinking about the parents' point of view and trying to
Yes.
put things together so that parents can stay for a little bit longer, right?
Absolutely. I love talking about timetabling, and I feel like we'll have to come back and do, 400 podcasts just on that,
Mm,
because a good timetable can make or break your studio in terms of your class placement. So I love chatting about timetables. I think it's really important to make sure, as you mentioned, that we're making it for the parents and we're packaging it well, that it's
mhm,
really clear, it's really well designed, so that the parents can have the children do. If you want the kids to do 3 classes a week, if that's like your aim for all students, then they can actually do 3 classes in an afternoon, because you can't go, oh, my goal is to get all my students to do 3 classes a week. But actually, they have to come 3 different days because I only have a ballet teacher on Monday. My hip hop teacher comes, you know what I mean? That's not going to work, right? Obviously, some kids will do that and come 3 times a week. But if your goal is really for that, you really need to make it easy for those parents. So
mm.
now's the time to be thinking about that timetable if you haven't already.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said as well, like to just imagine that you're a different parent. So imagine that you're
Mm,
that 8 and under, I don't know, troop kid, and you're that
yes.
parent. And then how many days do you have to come, and how difficult is it going to be? And all of that sort of stuff is really, really important as well, right?
Ah, so, so important. Making sure it's all so well designed.
Mm.
It's easy to read. It's clear. The parents understand. Like, I've done a whole nother podcast. Like, what the hell is gold star tap? Like, no one knows what that means. Is that a gold star for a, 5-year-old or for a 15? Like, do you know what I mean? Using wording that the parents understand so it's super clear, because a confused parent or a confused client doesn't buy. So I
I'll
think
tell you
that's really important.
I'll tell you something I've changed in my timetable since
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about that is the RAD ballet grades. So I used to have
Yes.
grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and then parents, of course, thought that they would do grade 1 ballet if they're in grade 1 at school, which makes
Mm.
complete sense, and
Yes.
that's not the case at all, of course. So now we do 7 years ballet, 8 years ballet, 9 years ballet, 10 years ballet, and
Yes.
that is not just simpler for the parents, but actually simpler for my staff, because my staff
Mm.
never understood the age. Like, that is tricky to know the age of the exams for RAD, so they never really got
Yes.
that in their head, so that makes it really simple for them.
Absolutely. And then it's like you can just put them in whatever grade they need to go in, regardless. It's just easy for the parents. There's no confusion. I love that so much. So, yeah, that was most of our first day. Oh, we did a big self reflection as well on our first day. There was heaps of other stuff in there, of course, but we'll give you a little bit of an overview of the self reflection session as well. Like that was so great. Beck did a real journey of when she's been attending different gyms, because you're a bit of a an addict to trying new gyms. Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm an addict. I want what I had before. Like, I
Yeah,
had this
keep
amazing gym
searching.
that I was so much a part of. It was like my family, I guess, as a lot of students feel their dance studio is. And when I left it, I had a real void in my life. And so I've tried so many different types of gyms and inquired it even more to try and find that again. And I think the self reflection was just on why didn't I
Yeah,
choose those? And then maybe sometimes we need to look at our own studio and go, okay, people are coming through the door, but they're not joining, or people aren't coming through the door, or people are leaving, and just trying to self reflect on the different reasons of why that could possibly be. And there's so many things that we can look at, obviously. But one that
absolutely.
sticks in my head is just the look and feel of the gym. And I'm probably
Mm,
more sensitive to that at the moment, Amanda, because I'm, renovating the new studio and trying to make it look as beautiful as possible. But those first impressions are so important. And I think I said to everyone at my other space, the floor when you first walk in at the moment is actually gaffer tape because it's lifted, and that's a perfect example of something that you just step over every day and don't think about, but it looks terrible. And you know,
absolutely.
it's, that knob that's not working on the door that you just kind of go past, or
Yeah,
the
or the little
paint that's
hole in the
coming off.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, where someone's cartwheeled into it. That's the
Oh,
go-to, right? Where the
yep.
bloody kids cartwheel through the walls and there's like a hole in the walls. I don't know how many times I've had cartwheel like feet through my walls.
Yep.
Um, all those things. And it is, you kind of get used to seeing it, right? But a new parent notices those things, or maybe not even a new parent, maybe an existing one. We get used to it because we see it every day. But impressions matter.
It's also like a lot of our parents do sit in the waiting room for probably 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know if you're like this, Amanda, but if I'm
Mm.
sitting in the doctor's surgery, for example, for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm always just like looking around at the different things and seeing I can see that hasn't been cleaned. Are you this person? Or,
Yeah.
or my hairdresser, for example. I'm like, that looks
Yes,
disgusting in the
hairdresser
corner.
kills me. Yeah,
I hate seeing like the hair in the corner of the little, you know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
absolutely hate that stuff. So that's a perfect example. And I think your parents probably sit there and think the same.
absolutely. And if you want to offer high quality instruction, if you want to have a high price point, those things matter. It's like we were talking about with Aj before, or Aj, or
Yeah.
I don't
How
know
do you
how the
say
fuck
that?
to say that.
I know.
Anyway,
I
we're
don't know
talking
either.
about that store in Noosa, and like you walk into the store and it's absolutely stunning, right? Like absolutely stunning. But if you want to have a high end price, you've got to offer a high end facility that looks clean, is always on point, isn't like having as you said, a doorknob that's falling off, or, a lifting floor or whatever it is, because we all have that shit and sometimes we just got to get it fixed.
Yes. It's also the customer service that comes with that. Like,
Mm,
you know, I'll compare it to Kmart. You walk into Kmart, no one really greets you. They might give you there's not people there to help you with your clothes or to help you pick stuff out. You pick it out yourself. There's rarely anyone in the change rooms. Like, it's very isolated, right? You go
which is
into
fine because you're paying Kmart prices.
Exactly. You go into a store
Mm,
like Aj, and straight away they're asking you how your day is. They're getting you things. They're giving you suggestions on what you might like. Like, they are with you in the change room the whole time. They're giving you other ideas of things to wear. They come out. So it's just, I agree with you on that. You've got to think about your price point and
mhm.
are you really creating that incredible service? And if you are, great, amazing. And if you're not, then think about that.
Absolutely. So that was kind of our day one. We then hit a cocktail party. That was super fun. We had
So
so
good.
many other incredible things in between before we went for day two again. Should we kind of give a bit of a recap on day two as well, Beck? Have we got time for this? Let's
Yeah,
keep going, shall we?
let's go. I think
Absolutely.
the day started off with Nathan doing profit first, and
Mm.
God, he was clever. Actually, I think it was your idea, but it was really clever how he kind of had
All good
buckets.
ideas come from me for my health.
Careful.
He's going to listen back to this and kill me.
No, Nathan is a rock star at helping
He is.
people like myself understand money when I find, and maths and all of that stuff. You know, most of us are creatives and we find that stuff really, really hard to understand. And he
Mm.
is a rock star at teaching us that. But
Yes.
the brilliant idea that did, I believe, come from you, Amanda, was that he had these little
It's all him.
glass vases or something like that. And then he had money and he was showing how when the money comes in, you should be distributing it. And I think
Mm.
that visual for me was really clever in him just going, okay, this, like a lot of that money's not yours. That's what he was saying. So
Absolutely.
this much should go in this one for tax, and then this one should go in here for this and this, and just putting it like that was, and then you've got money to spend. I loved
Mm.
it. I loved
Yeah.
it.
It was so, so clever. And he gave all of our members like a really easy to follow plan of what their goal should be percentage wise in terms of how they're dividing their money, how much they should be giving themselves as profit, as well as their owners pay because they're such a rock star. Yeah, it's always really interesting to sort of see what other people are doing, especially when we talk about percentages of your revenue,
Mm.
and how much you're kind of paying yourself and what the goal is, right?
Yes, and making sure that there's so many people that come into our world who aren't paying themselves
Mm,
either at all or definitely not enough. And that was one of the things that that we said to Brad when he asked us that question, why do you do this? And the
mm.
three of us all agreed that one of our biggest passions is making sure that studio owners are getting paid what they deserve, because we know how hard they work. We know they're doing
Absolutely.
incredible things, and just making sure that they're actually getting paid what they deserve for that is one of the things that we're most passionate about.
Absolutely, because otherwise they leave our industry. And we love this industry so, so much, and people need to be paid what they're worth. So, oh my gosh, that was such a good session. I know our members got so much out of that. So many of them, since they've gone home, have, already told us about how they're setting these new goals and what they're doing and how they're changing up their financials, chatting to their accountant about it. Yeah, it's so, so exciting. Numbers can be so fun.
So good, so good.
Mm.
And then you and Nath did this
Oh,
incredible session. So you created these AI bots for all
we
of our
did.
members to use to save them so much time. I'll let you talk
I
about it.
love them
Yeah, they were cute. They were cute, but they
because they're
look,
cute.
yeah. Well, one of them keeps coming up on everyone's accountability channels. I
Checking in,
don't,
Millie motivation.
Millie. I was going to say Maybe. I don't know why. Millie
No,
motivation.
Millie checking in.
Tell us about Millie motivation.
Well, Millie is designed to help you set goals. She makes sure that you're staying accountable to your goals by checking in on you, making sure that we all know your goals, and just giving you like a little bit of a friendly push in the right direction, right? Using inspiring quotes, linking you to other great articles and books and podcasts to read. Yeah. I'm a little bit obsessed with all my AI bots, my little army of bots. There were 7 that we gifted to all of our members, that I know that they're going to love using. I know so many of them have set them up already, making it super easy because we all know that we should be using AI, but sometimes it's just really hard to get our shit together and start
Oh,
doing it. Know where to start, right?
I think it's just hard to even wrap my head around, Amanda. Like, I don't
Mm,
know. I feel like, it's you guys are much better at it than me, but just even wrapping my head around how it all works, and it's so endless what you can do with it. And I
yeah,
think that was great with that session, was just like giving everybody some simple tools of exactly how to use it in our industry to
yeah,
make things so much more simple. And we need
absolutely.
simple in our life as a
We
studio owner. And you know what else we need? Time saving.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to get you on to Trixie, my teaching assistant, as well, because Trixie is like on your phone while you're driving home. She's going to help you with all your teaching notes. Make sure your class positions are in the right spot. Make sure you remember that the next part's meant to be a canon in your routine, or that you're up to 52 seconds and you've got to remember to hurry up and cut that bit of the music out. Like, so good,
That's insane. It's
so
crazy what
much
we can.
fun.
I feel like we could do a whole podcast on that.
We absolutely could. We absolutely could. Our last main session that we kind of will wrap up on was the incredible Heidi Anderson. I think we're going to have to ask her to be a guest on our podcast as well.
Oh, yeah,
She
that's
is
a great
a
idea.
PR queen, and
Mm.
she helped our members, find ways to PR themselves and get really great media coverage, or at least like Instagram, coverage, to really market their business and position them as an authority, because that's what she was really talking about. Like, positioning yourself as an authority can really help like skyrocket your studio.
Absolutely, and did she had an incredible story as well. I think
Mm,
she'd be great to get on the podcast, just about how she's gone from someone with absolutely pretty much zero self-worth and confidence to having this huge
yes.
confidence within herself, which is a
Mm,
really cool story as well, and something that I think I'd like to say to everybody who's still listening, because this has gone for a long time, this podcast, but still listening to us out there. It's something I've talked about a lot with our one-on-ones this month, Amanda, is having
mm,
the confidence to believe in what you want as a studio owner. And
yep.
even this morning, I was talking to one of our amazing members, and she was unsure whether to change it up the way she was doing comps or not. She's doing All Star at the moment, and she was like, "Do I start doing Dancer Stedfords, or do I just stick with All Star? What do I do?" And my answer to her was, "Well, what do you want? It's your business. Don't do it
Absolutely.
because parents are telling you to do it. Don't do it because you think, you know, All Stars too expensive and there's a parent that's complained about that or whatever it might be. Do it
Yeah.
because it's what you want to do for your business." And I think there's too many of us that get swayed by, oh, this
Shiny objects.
the school down the road's doing it, so I better do it. Or, oh, that parents complained about it, maybe I should be doing it. So just
Mm.
stay true to yourself, and have confidence in your own self and your own abilities.
I so agree. Hey, if any of our members, our Studio Growth Club members are listening, we cannot thank you enough for coming along with us for the ride. We had the most incredible weekend. It was so much fun. I love those kind of weekends. We are so excited for our SGC mansion next year. It's incredible. So, yeah, we're pumped for all the things that are coming up for our members. And hopefully, you guys have really enjoyed this little takeaways that we've kind of given a little glimpse behind the scene of our retreat.
Absolutely. The other thing is that we've got Expo coming up next year on the Gold Coast on the 5th and 6th of April. We're super pumped about that as well. And we know lots of our podcast members come along to that. We'd love to see you there. But if
Mm,
SGC is something that you are interested in joining, we are keen to chat to people at the moment. We're taking a few people in right now. So if you want to
absolutely.
reach out and we can have a chat and see if it's the right fit for you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, friends. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks, Beck.
Thanks. Bye.